Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of the Weeb Weekly. I am reporting to you live from the City of Angels in a hotel room with Wi-Fi good enough that it seems to have a stable connection. So that's the most important thing. I am joined by the forever hoodie clad in Jose.
Yes, the Tropical Joe is in the building and we got a lot of stuff to cover. So, Mizu, say hello to the squad.
What's going on, everyone? We definitely have a lot to talk about. Big news across the board.
So much news to cover. We have everything from anime news to video game news, a lot of video game news. We did just have E3 to the dropping of the new TV shows, the continuation of TV shows that we're currently keeping up with. So, I mean, with no further ado, if we got a lot to talk about, we might as well get started, right, gents? So, the biggest thing of the week, I think we can all agree, is going to have to be the time traveling buddy cop show that I think has some serious legs, Loki, the television show. It's just Loki, right?
Yes.
Okay. That was a really, really fun start to that, just kicking it off. And I don't want to give a little spoilers to the end of the show here, but Owen Wilson is great in that role. That man is perfect for that role. Did you guys like the episode?
I loved it. I'm gonna go out and say it. I'm gonna do it since nobody else is going to. This is the best start to an MCU show. The best start. And that's including The Mandalorian.
Not hard to beat WandaVision.
Because not because obviously like action wise, it's not like it depends on what you're into, right? But this series is gonna have a lot of weight for the rest of the Marvel universe. So if you're asking me like which episode got me more excited for like the future of a franchise, I would take this over even The Mandalorian or WandaVision. I want to say it's a hot take. It's a hot take Sunday. Mizu, how did you like the episode?
I was gonna say, Mizu, you got any thoughts on that?
Honestly, I definitely agree, especially after what everything's going to connect into Loki. And some of the theories I've been hearing, I definitely want to see it come true. Mm-hmm. But overall, yeah, I'm definitely excited. I was very drawn in, but yeah, much more than I was for WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I gotta say I agree. Mostly because it really deals with, I mean, it does deal with larger scope issues. So now, the Captain America and the Winter Soldier, we're looking at two characters, kind of side characters off in the distance. But with Loki, we're now we're back in the middle of Endgame. We're looking at repercussions, those kinds of things. So it's like we're tapping back into the cinematic universe more than we did with others, because the others are more branching storylines. But this feels more like it's dependent upon the base storyline, because Loki's, honestly, we know how, what happens in Infinity War. He dies, and so we're building towards that moment slowly but surely. And that was something he had to get faced with towards the end, towards the middle of the episode. So I agree with you. I mean, it's not, I don't know. If I had to say, it's a toss up between it and The Mandalorian, because the first episode of Captain America and the Winter Soldier wasn't like too crazy, and WandaVision, it was just a sitcom, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah. So first episode wise, I don't disagree with you, but yeah, okay. Besides the hot takes, what were your initial feelings towards the episode?
Am I starting, Mizu? Or do you want to?
You can start.
Okay, so this episode gave us a lot of good nuggets of information, and I love my nuggets of gold when it comes to lore. First off, they confirmed something that is very important. If you haven't seen the episode, you can, timestamps are there for a reason. There is only one timeline, the sacred timeline. That's a very important note to make. I didn't agree with
questions about this. Yes.
And what I want to explain, right, is that for those of you that have read the comics or have some experience with the comics, is that there's multiple realities, there's branching realities. So the one that we are at right now is like the main one, which is Earth 616, which is created after the first original timeline of Marvel dies of like heat. I think that it was heat or something that like killed it off. We got the secondary timeline, which is the one we're in right now, right? The one that has the time variance authority, or the timekeepers, which are shown in the 1960s style explainer video, which is beautiful because I love that they kept the WandaVision style. Oh
yeah, it's just interesting that you can like know the entirety of the future and the past, and yet you're still stuck in like with like shag carpet and in big like box tube TVs. Like what happened there?
Mad Men TV, basically.
Yeah, like what? How did we get there? But yeah, no, it was incredible.
So yeah, basically what they've established is that the time variance authority works in favor of the universe,
Sacred
right? They keep the timeline straight, but I think there's more than meets the eye, and a lot of people have been theorizing this online. I don't think the time variance authority is going to be the good guys. I think
yeah, like if you know, first off, they know everything that's going to happen.
Yep.
Okay, time isn't linear to them. Time is a flat circle to them. They know Loki's future. They know Loki's past. Okay, so you knew Thanos was going to snap away half of the universe, but you also knew that the Avengers were going to go back and fix that timeline, of course. But like, okay, you know that's going to happen. And you can reverse times, and you can split these. You can reverse time. You can go back in time. You can split these things. You can clearly, they're shown when Loki goes to receive his Tesseract that they have every universe's Infinity Stones. Okay, and for a little piece of Marvel lore for everyone, your Infinity Stones only work in your universe. That's why Darkseid curb stomps Thanos. I'm sorry, all he has to do is take him to another dimension, and then Thanos has nothing to do. But so they can clearly, like, they could mount a defense against Thanos and do all these things, and yet they don't. So like, yeah, it seems like almost malignant, like passiveness.
Yeah, that makes total sense, and it is what some people described is that they are the police trying to keep everybody in check so that the multiverse of madness doesn't happen. But in order for the rest, like for the MCU to actually like get there, something has to happen. And I think the time variance authority is going to like make a stand. And I think it was either Straw Hat Goofy or Captain MD that basically said that Loki's going to be a freedom fighter. That the variants of Loki are going to be like freedom fighters trying to set the multiverse off on that madness, because like the TVA shouldn't be the end all be all authority on what happens. That's technically the living tribunal, the one that should be doing it. But I want to know what Mizu thinks, because I know that there's a lot of things that went on, a lot of details that have to be covered. What were your initial reactions, Mizu?
Honestly, I love all the little nuggets of Easter eggs and things in Loki so far, because there's a lot they put in here. I like how the first time ever, the MCU was looking at the multiverse as kind of like a bad thing. Like, if there are too many timelines, it can create a multiverse, which we don't want. And of course, as Straw Hat Goofy said in one of his videos, go check him out, he believes that, Loki is going to trigger what will happen in Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is titled Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So that means Loki can tie in to what will be done. And in one of Straw Hat's videos is that there's a whole scene in Loki where Loki sees his life. He sees his life from beginning to end, and he comes back and sees the rest of what's going to happen to him. And Straw Hat points out that there's this look on Loki's face that he didn't he seemed like he accepted his death, but if you look at his face, he didn't. He didn't accept his death, and it seems like he's a man on a mission to change this. So honestly, I feel like Loki's going to be deceptive throughout the show, and he's helping them, but he's not really helping them, because I feel like he probably might pull a 180 and try to save himself, which will then create the multiverse of madness.
Yeah,
and some people speculate that.
Some people speculate the what? Go ahead.
And of course, like they said that the main villain is himself, which most likely is Lady Loki, his
variant.
So yes, that's what people are speculating to be the bad guy. Is like they said, like it is like him. The bad guy is Loki, but I'm pretty sure that they're kind of teasing that it's going to be Lady Loki.
Yeah.
Okay.
With that being said, there are other little Easter eggs in there that are fantastic. There's one that's kind of big, and it actually ties into Ant-Man. And here's why. So we all saw the judge lady, the lady who's judging Loki.
She looks familiar, and I don't know where I've seen her.
She's from. Okay, yeah. You can go.
Oh no, like I mean, not just the actress, but like her name. She's actually a canon character in the Marvel universe.
Ravonna.
Oh.
Ravonna.
So she's actually the wife or the confidant of Kang the Conqueror from the comics.
Boom. There you go.
Oh,
And for those who don't know, Ant-Man's third film is called Ant-Man and what's it called? Quantumania. And the main bad guy of that one is Kang the Conqueror.
oh,
And King of Conqueror is who's a bad guy.
Time traveler.
Think of Thanos, but
he probably shouldn't have a wife in the TVA.
Time travel.
No, exactly. She's
Oh, no.
So, yeah,
you've seen her in
the
Black
judge.
Mirror. That's what I was gonna say.
And she's a judge of TV. She's one of the judges. So, and she even says, the actress herself even points it out in an interview where she said, I love playing the character before she becomes who she is. That means at some point, that character is going to be associated or be the confidant of Kang the Conqueror in the MCU.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So I hadn't heard that quote from her. That's definitely interesting. Oh, Gugu Mbatha-Raw. Okay. Yes, that is her name. That is insane. I did not know that. And so, I mean, that's pretty far off in terms of what we're going to see. I think I'm trying to find what I know her from because I haven't seen Black
Mirror?
No,
She's
I
from
think
the San Junipero episode.
Free State of Jones. That's where I've seen her. She marries the white dude who plays the bacon for yeah, I forget his name. All right. Matthew McConaughey. That's it. Yeah. But no, I thought it was really, really incredible. And we did get a lot of Easter eggs. My personal favorite was the fact that, in one timeline, the dozens and millions of Infinity Stones, people are using them as, paperweights because they don't mean anything. But my biggest thing is, I guess maybe I'm rusty. Maybe I'm rusty on my MCU lore. How the Tesseract is the Time Stone, correct? No, it's not Time Stone. It's Space Stone, right?
Yeah.
Space Stone.
How did the Avengers get all the stones if Loki had the Tesseract?
What do you mean? Like within the original timeline?
With the MCU? Like, I mean, because they get all the stones and then they snap Thanos away. How did they get that if Loki had the Tesseract?
Because, like on. If Loki,
in Endgame.
Remember, this is officially a variant. Like that's officially a variant. So like the time stone no longer exists in that main original, like the one we saw Endgame in. The time stone is no longer there. Like they found it because it just like it was in another place, I would say. Like it's not.
Oh, they went back in time and got it, right? They went back to like the 40s and got it.
Yeah. Because they went back to when Tony Stark met his dad at the Hydra base, because that's where it's originally found. But like the original one from their timeline is lost. Like it's a variant. Yeah. That's why it only worked to bring Loki into what was it, like the desert in Mongolia versus sending him somewhere else.
But the thing is, if that one is gone, now that is their universe's space.
That's
stone.
That's a Nexus universe,
Yeah. So now essentially the Tesseract that they're getting isn't their universe's.
Exactly. There's two of them.
That's so.
That's why there's so many. That's why there's so many Nexuses, and that's why like it matters. Like this series is gonna matter so much.
And my biggest problem, I would say, with this episode is how hand wavy they were with. Loki brings up a good point. He's like, listen, like people have been time traveling, but like, so have the Avengers, and they were supposed to do that, and that felt very hand wavy to me, very like yada yada yada, and I was like.
So why?
Like why? Are we just making exceptions because they're the good guys? What is good? What is bad? Is the TVA on sides here? Like, shouldn't you just be like, you should have a rule book? No people, you don't get to go through time. Like, be cops about it. Don't choose sides. Which is why I very much agree with your TVA may not be the good guys because they seem like they have a biased agenda. Not to say that I was like, wow, wish the cops had pulled up and stopped them, but like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was thinking about that a lot too. And I think maybe also another reason is maybe because they put them back. Like, Steve went back in time and he put them back. And speaking of Steve, like, how is he not a variant in a way? Because granted, he put the stones back, but then he went back in time and got with Peggy. How is that not him being a variant? Because that's not supposed to happen.
It's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, and then
Like,
you
were they just like, you've done enough? Like, here you go. Like, go have sex. Like, congratulations. Like what?
Yeah.
Like, you've done. Like, you snapped away Thanos. Good job. Now you get to be a variant.
I think they're using the Back to the Future school of logic. So as long as Steve doesn't see himself 80 years in the future, it's fine. That's why he's just like chilling until the variant is like thawed from the ice. So it's just chill.
But he just lives his whole life.
Exactly.
He lives his whole life, and that's when he meets Sam, and he gives him the shield.
Yeah,
So
but
there isn't two versions of him.
lived his life on a separate variant timeline. Like he lived his life in a timeline where he was still stuck in the ice.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, well, if we're
Then
following the rules
speculate?
from Loki, if we're following
Okay.
the rules from Loki, then yes, because there's two Captain Americas there. Like the main thing that I wanted to get to, right? With this episode is what Mizu was saying is that the other variants of Loki are the ones that are going to matter the most. So I think it was almost confirmed that the Loki that the cloaked figure that we saw trying to get the pruning device is just
the oil.
I think that's going to be Lady Loki, or the variant of Loki that's actually going through like 1549 in France and then Oklahoma in the 1850s. She is finding the right tools to stop the TVA, because they can like basically prune whatever reality they're in. So she's going to be very interesting, because I think what this Loki might do is either stand up to her or join her. That's the main thing of why the multiverse of madness. Yeah,
Owen
true,
Wilson.
because there's
Exactly.
in the trailer, there is a little snippet that we see of Loki sitting with this woman. Look like they were having a conversation, and some people speculate that was Lady Loki.
Yeah, because
how could you portray that face? His nose is getting wonkier, by the way. His nose is somehow, like, over the years, it has continued to go in and in further upon itself. Like it's like his button is a different part of the stem of it. It makes physically no sense. I don't understand how he breathes, but I would never portray that man.
I would say never judge a book by its cover, because I don't know, man. I feel it's super sketchy. I'm not sold on the TVA. I'm not sold on the TVA. I only trust the tribunal. He / she is the only one that's unbiased. This is going to be sketch. And we saw Carter. We saw Peggy Carter.
When did we see Peggy Carter?
In one of the moments where so you remember when Loki was playing with his remote with the agent? Yeah, so that's when he came out of the room, and there was somebody bringing in a variant, or a speculated variant of Peggy Carter, and that's why we're like seeing so many. I don't know if that's gonna be like a plug for like another series, or if that's gonna lead to like other multiverse things happening.
So maybe Steve Rogers is a variant.
Yeah,
and him interacting with Peggy Carter makes them variants.
I just know what we know so far is very minimal based on that, and then the interviews that Tom Hiddleston did at the premiere event in London. He did say that he likes episodes 4 and 5 the best, because he sees a major change in the MCU happening, and I'm like, okay, I'm excited.
Hey, if you ever see this Tom Hiddleston, please don't fuck with us. Please don't do one. Please don't pull one of those celebrity things like, oh, something might happen, and then
nothing happens.
It doesn't. Because I'm already mad at what's the actor's name who plays Vision?
Paul Bettany.
Oh.
Paul Bettany, when he did that for WandaVision. And I'm like,
the cameo is like, the fuck, it's yourself. It's you.
I've been wanting to work with this actor for a long time now.
MCU Toms, they usually just get like Tom Hiddleston and Tom Holland give away shit all the time. Like, they don't even tell Tom Holland stuff anymore, because he will literally just leak it. Like, he is his own WikiLeaks page. Like that. I think we will see major changes, and I think that major change may be Loki doesn't die.
Yeah,
Like,
I
what else?
love it.
What else does this build to other than Loki still alive? You know, like Loki dies in the main timeline. Yep, that he saw it. It was a big theme of the first episode, and now he's hunting down like variants. And sure, he won't technically exist within the sacred timeline, but I could see him joining the TVA as like a kind of like permanent fixture, or maybe possibly replacing female Loki's spot in her timeline, something like that. My biggest question is, so we have all these Loki variants, right?
Uh-huh.
How are they achieving variants? Do they
What do you
also have
mean?
the Tesseracts?
So I think it's not just if it, did they say I think it's not just Infinity Stones. They just say like if you go off of what's not supposed to happen, because they said it in the little promotion
The
prologue
instructional video,
that
yeah.
when you do something that you're not supposed to, even if you're late for work,
Uh-huh.
that will make you a variant. Something that was not supposed to happen will make you a variant.
So if you
knowing
ever-
Loki,
Interesting. If you ever stray from fate,
Yeah.
yes. So
that
say
feels
if
very controlling.
So say if you you were supposed to be on, you were late that day and it was supposed to happen, but in a different version of yourself, you were on time. I guess that just makes you a variant because you weren't supposed to be on time.
And then they just
Yeah.
wipe out that whole timeline. Damn, that would be
And they
so
just wipe out that whole
tedious.
timeline.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no wonder
Because
they have
it
so many
goes-
of them.
Yeah.
Because it goes up the time theory. It goes up the multiverse time theory that
Every decision you
every
make.
decision you make,
The
there's a
butterfly
different
effect.
version or alternate version where you made the decision. So one day you decided to go, you were, peckish, you want to go between McDonald's and Burger King. You pick McDonald's. Another version, you pick Burger King. That's the kind of time theory that they're going with in a way. But instead of it just being as it is, they're just like, no, that's not supposed to happen. I don't care. You're supposed to go to McDonald's. You're
Yeah.
damn well going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
How else are we gonna get a billion served? Okay, you're going. I'm sorry. That's crazy because like that's godship. That's dictatorship on an entire like
Galactic
universal level. Like they could be. I could see Loki being a freedom fighter because like essentially that takes it's fate versus it's like fate
Control.
versus choice.
Mhm.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
so they're like, you're gonna live your life, and he's already very outspoken against it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Loki being Loki, I think like anything that he does is going to make a time variant because like he doesn't like to go by the rules.
By the rules.
So
Yeah.
there's always going to be something that he does that he's not supposed to do.
Yeah. And I think
Oh yeah. Go
honestly,
ahead.
yeah, no, the thing that I was gonna say, like the most important thing to keep in mind is that this is a setup show, right? We've seen it from the beginning. This is gonna set up all the different properties, including what I think would be why the Spider-Man might be coming to No Way Home. Because like if remember all those movies
back to
everything
comes back to the Tobey Maguire crossover.
No, hey, the thing is like not just that, because like we saw some other Easter eggs during this movie, like during this episode. For example, one, Nightmare. They mentioned the Nightmare department. Nightmare is one of Doctor Strange's most important villains. He also messes with time as well. We saw the cross in Casey's little drawer, which people are saying could be the advent of Blade into the universe and like Dracula and stuff like that. Because like there were multiple Easter eggs that were like, okay, this is setting up this is setting up that, and they're like, okay, everything happens after Loki. So if the multiverse of madness is set up, then that means that there's going to be Nexus events. And the theory is, at least with Spider-Man, this is just like a Reddit theory, that
Home of all the best theories.
No, that Tom Holland's not Tom Holland's, Tobey Maguire's and Andrew Garfield's universes are nexuses, and they just like delete. They just said Control Alt Delete to that timeline. And now that the multiverse is back in business, they're like, oh, they can come back.
That's crazy.
That could be a way they bring them in, like with actual hand waving. That makes sense.
What were you saying, Music?
I was gonna say, I think another cool thing, which if it does go that way, and if because the next thing we gotta also understand, and hopefully that in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, are they gonna stay with the multiverse? Is the real question. Like, are they gonna keep it that way, or are they gonna try to like, quote unquote fix it? But as you said, with Spider-Man, they're setting it up, so I guess they're gonna be going on with this. It's gonna be another like big, I wouldn't say cataclysmic, a big event in the MCU, like the the blip, this is going to be another big event where now the multiverse truly exists. So with that being said, I think this is perfect setup for the X-Men, in my opinion.
True.
Because at this point, it's kind of like just in the main timeline way, it kind of makes no sense for the X-Men to show up as they are in the MCU main timeline, because it doesn't make sense. Because, you know, in the comic books, the X-Men have been around for, I would say mutants have been around for years, decades.
Yeah, the Eternals were the first ones, yeah.
So, and by this time, the X-Men should have been around by now, but they're not. Yeah. So, but they said that they're going to bring the X-Men in here, and the only logical way that they can do this is through the multiverse.
Yeah.
There's a different universe where you can say the Avengers didn't exist, but the X-Men do.
But the X-Gene does, yeah.
Yes.
Huh. That would work. Yeah. I mean, because, yeah, like, how can you explain away, like, hey, Jean Grey had the Phoenix powers twice, and we never contacted the Avengers about this, you know, like that. It would definitely be a bit weird. So no, that would be really cool, because I do really badly want to see Disney handle the X-Men, because we haven't had a good X-Men movie. Actually, you know what? No. Unpopular opinion, Dark Phoenix was a good movie. And Apocalypse wasn't bad. Okay. Michael Fassbender acted his ass off. Okay, he's very good in that movie. And sure, does technically Jean Grey get Phoenix powers at the end in Dark Phoenix, and then also at the end of Apocalypse? Maybe. And sure, that's a continuity problem. But you know what else was a continuity problem? When Professor X just reappeared after exploding, and they never explained it. So, you know, all right, there's always been problems. Okay.
I'll give it to you. I like other movies that other people don't like. I'll give it to you. Give it to you.
And Logan was a masterpiece.
That's true.
Well, Logan, we all agree that Logan was fantastic. I do agree with the Apocalypse one. I don't know about Dark Phoenix, but I will say that Dark Phoenix is better than X-Men 3. I guess they handled the Dark Phoenix.
X-Men 3 was a nightmare.
They handled the Phoenix better. The concept of the Phoenix better than X-Men 3 did.
It's always when they start giving her Phoenix powers, it's like you're bundling it. You're bungling it.
But I think they're doing it well this time, because they're explaining the Eternals. They're gonna give I'm pretty sure they're gonna give the background to Thanos, because like Alars is not there yet, but I'm pretty sure like at that point, Alars was already gone from the Eternals main squad. So I'm excited. The next episode is coming, I believe, next Wednesday, right? Is it next? Yep. Is it going to be on Wednesdays?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, so we get Wednesdays and then Fridays Bad Batch. Oh, shit.
I'm so sick of everything coming out on Friday. Vivi comes out on Sundays. I was like, how much time do you want me to have?
I don't know, man. I feel like this is going to be intense, because it's going to lead to that multiversal war. Like that's the thing. The thing that I can't really decipher yet, that we're gonna need till next year or 2024 or 2023 to figure it out, who is gonna be like the main baddie. And I want it.
It's crazy we're that far away.
The thing is, Kang the Conqueror makes sense, but I want them to save Galactus. Don't put Galactus just yet.
Wait, save Galactus.
Save
like
Galactus.
For the future.
Bring in somebody that has messed with time before. Dr. Mother effing Doom. I want the Fantastic Four in this, and I want to see a full-powered Doom go ape shit. That's what I want.
Or what if Adam Warlock was bad? That'd be pretty cool too.
The thing is, we got the What If series, right? Yeah. We got the What If series, right? And they've worked with the multiverse, and that what Misu was gonna say is really important. Sorry to cut you off. That like we did set Adam Warlock off as the kind of like the villain, or being controlled by the race of aliens or whatever. I don't know. Who would you guys want to be the main baddie for Phase 4?
Mizu, please.
Honestly, because of how it's kind of being set up with time, I'm pretty sure that, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure they're leaning towards Kang the Conqueror, because to me, it'll be kind of an insult to his character if he's just an Ant-Man villain. Because he's on Thanos, Dr. Doom level bad. Like I said, he's basically Thanos, but with the ability to time travel. And
if I had to go anywhere, obviously Galactus is pinnacle baddie, or
Gore,
like snaps Thanos in half. but like I think Adam Warlock is one of my favorite MCU and like Marvel characters of all time. He has the Infinity Gauntlet more than most people. The only person who really has it more than him is maybe Doctor Doom, honestly. So I think Adam Warlock, Doctor Doom, getting the Silver Surfer back in there, possibly. But that would be more as a tease for Galactus. I think those are the ways you got to go, honestly. Kang the Conqueror is a very cool character. I don't know a ton about him. He sounds a bit a mortal caveman from DC.
Are you talking about Savage?
Yes, Vandal Savage.
Vandal
yes,
Savage.
That's who he sounds like. But yeah, no, I love Adam Strange, but I do also love Doctor Doom. Okay, my last thing on Loki is give the Minutemen guns. What are we doing? Why do they have staffs? Why do they have staffs? Okay, why are they all pulling out batons? You can travel through space-time and hit people with a baton that slows them down. Put that in a bullet so they can stop getting stabbed and lit on fire. No wonder you're losing all of them. Okay, it's like Britain without the armed force police. Like they have batons. Just give the Minutemen guns. It's over,
bro. Now that I'm thinking about it, you mentioned Kang the Conqueror. Now I'm thinking Null would be awesome too.
Oh my god!
No, if we go Null,
I don't think the MCU was ready.
I don't even know who that is,
bro. Null is okay. I'm just gonna give you his nickname is the Void, the Abyss. So nice. Like he's the one that created the symbiotes. Like all the symbiotes stem from him. Good. So like he's very.
They're generally fun people.
He's very powerful. But yeah, I'm excited. What would you say would be the I just wanted to get like so we can like switch off of it, but give one last impression on Loki. Where would you say, if they execute correctly, this would stand in like importance in terms of the MCU?
I think from a plot standpoint, it could possibly be the most because here's essentially what we've gotten thus far is from WandaVision essentially that she's officially comics powerful. She's this multiversal being capable of altering reality, and that's important. But that's something we always knew. You know, it was a matter of she's nerfed. We got a little hint when she could hold off Thanos with one hand. Like that was the little hint at how powerful she was. But I'd say that was the biggest thing we got from that. You know, it was about acceptance and all that. It was side characters getting fleshed out. And then, you know, obviously I'd say we're not going to get anything more important politically than Captain America and the Winter Soldier, but at the same time, kind of side characters getting fleshed out. You know, like we we could have gone without the entire show, technically, if we could have just seen Sam with the shield. You know, at like they could have been like, hey, here's the movie. Sam has a shield now. Of course he does. Cap gave it to him. This one though is building up. You know, it's building up to those Nexus events. Otherwise, like you said, it's a build-up show, and I think the other ones were kind of just fleshed out. I mean, so I think it is probably going to be the most important if executed correctly. What about you, Music?
I definitely agree. WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier both were more purpose. Their purpose was to like flesh out the characters. And I do feel like Loki, if it does set up the way it is going, it can be, like I said, the next big event on the same scale as to like the blip, because you got, you know, half the universe being wiped out, and now we're setting up that there's more than one universe that can exist. So I definitely see it being top tier.
What about you, Jose? You posed the question. What do you think?
I think it'll be up there. I don't think it'll. If I'm being completely honest with you, I think this can set up a lot of stuff, but I think the key one is going to be Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange makes a lot of sense because they're gonna have the opportunity, right, to set up a lot of Doctor Strange specific villains that would have a massive amount of influence over the MCU as a whole. So like you get you could actually bring back the Dormammu, or like the influence of Dormammu, because Dormammu is like Dormammu is no joke. Because like for example, because Kang the Conqueror could easily do a team up with Dormammu, like come into the timeline and be like, you're no longer fused to this curse, and it's like, okay, Dormammu's on the loose, so that's fucked up. But yeah, I just think that it would be I would put Multiverse of Madness is going to be the wildest one, at least on my opinion. Then we're going to have Loki, and then Quantum Mania from Ant-Man. Finally give Ant-Man something to stand on, I guess.
Hey, listen, Ant-Man and the Wasp was
bad.
The worst movie of the phase 2.
No,
but that's okay. Neither here nor there.
Dark World.
Phase 3. Yeah. Oh, true. Thor 3 wasn't great. We saw a little bit from Dark World when Loki gets his mom killed. Yep.
And I was gonna mention that a little bit, that how I like how these shows are also fleshing out even their bad movies, the ones that didn't do as well, because I can see Loki being able to possibly save, not 100%, but at least clean up Thor the Dark World a little bit.
Yeah.
They just go back and scrub the story a bit and make it a bit more interesting. I don't know if they can pull that off. But
because if you think about it, they really are like, after you think about it, with Falcon and Winter Soldier, they basically elevated all of Captain America's movies. They're already good, but now with that show entailed with it, it just boosted its like credibility even more, since it all ties in, because this is where all the roots started, and how this show connects all those roots.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, but I mean, all in all, a fantastic episode. Really looking forward. I mean, it's gonna be the nexus of what we talk about for the next 8 weeks, until, of course, Fast 9 comes out in 2 weeks, and then Black Widow comes out July 9th. We got a lot coming up on the horizon here, but what we will be finishing before Black Widow is Bad Batch. And gentlemen, I'm a humble man. I'd like to think so, and I'll admit when I was wrong. I think Wrecker's gonna make it.
Yep.
I don't.
Your theory was correct, though. That he was gonna crack.
He was
gonna go back to crazy.
Them all.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit here and say I wanted him dead, because I didn't. He's probably my favorite character. Just, it felt like they Disney-fied it a little bit. In that circumstance, he could have died.
Yeah, I agree.
But at the same time, why did it take them this long? Why did it take this is the past 2 weeks have been the best episodes of the season, bar none. Why did it take them this long? We are tackling the things we should have been talking about 5 episodes. We're doing the inhibitor chips. We have them. Sure, we had to get Omega, but like that could have been 1 or 2 episodes. Like we found Rex, and I don't. Rex kind of came and went, but like I mean, am I wrong here? Like second, maybe first best episode of the series, right?
Mizu, you can go first. I have some other thoughts to put into perspective with Bad Batch.
To be honest with you, my controversial opinion, I think Wrecker should have died. I think he should have died. I think he should have went AWOL.
Right.
And they had to put him, I hate to say to use the words, but I think they should have put him down. They should have put him down. And it is a good question. Like, why did it take so long to deal with the inhibitor chips? I get that you guys are different, but like, why did it take Rex to tell you that? Hey, I mean, I get that y'all, special and all, but like, you need to get
I got the thing on me. I have this motherfucking thing on me. He's like, I'll take you all
I like how Rex was reacting. Like, oh, you guys still have your chips? And he was literally just like, hey,
on site.
Nope.
It was on site, bro.
Don't get shot.
Yeah, you better back up. But yeah, I think I think they did it in a very Disneyan way. It was the same thing they did with Mandalorian. They're like, we're gonna do 5 episodes to like flesh things out, and then here's the rest of the plot.
Yeah, and the part that kind of like I agree with the Disney part, which is so sad, is because like I said, in the actual Star Wars, the Clone Wars, they don't shy away from like death.
No.
In the show, they don't. You see you haven't seen it yet, but you see whole Jedi being tortured and killed right in front of your eyes. They don't just pan it off just for you. Like there's literally a scene in Star Wars: The Clone Wars where a Jedi is being shot to death and he dies right there, and they kept shocking him just to make sure he was dead.
Yeah.
Like they do this stuff all the time. So I thought it was kind of disappointed that they just kind of like, didn't go down that dark route when they should have, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, Jose, what were the thoughts that you're collecting on the episode?
So the main things that happened, so Wrecker officially went off the rails, right?
Yep.
The inhibitor ship officially kicked in. He was very close to sending Omega into the gulag. Yep. But the main thing that I think is so the main thing that we have to draw out of the episode, right? The Bad Batch crew is finally realizing what their purpose is, right? Which is not to be mercenaries for Braca, or like no, I forgot her name. The
Are they
lizard
figuring
lady.
out what their purpose is though?
Yeah, because now they need to. I think what I think is going to happen is that they're going to go with Rex to find the Republic. That's their goal, to help sorry, not the Republic, the rebels. Like they're like, as Rex mentioned, like there's a lot of people that could use their skills. That's where they might be taking it, and then the guild on this planet is just gonna basically be like another obstacle in them getting there. The main thing as well is that they did mention Ahsoka. Like when Rex says, I had help, that's a reference to the Clone Wars where Ahsoka helped him take out his inhibitor chip. What I don't know is where they could take it, like big picture wise, right? So like as a contained story makes sense. As big picture, I don't know, because they don't show up anywhere else. Like they don't show up in the original trilogy. They don't show up in Rebels. Like, are they gonna pull a Rogue One and just sacrifice all of them to Xibalba and just like put
for what cause though? For what cause is
the
Rogue One? They were getting the plans for the Death Star, you know, and they die, and that's how we knew where the access port was. That makes sense. That fits in the canon. Well done, George Lucas. Pat on the back, gold star. What is their purpose? So I mean,
I think Omega, right?
Well,
Omega,
but yeah, okay. So we'll talk hypothetically on that. But here's things like Rex is walking away. You know, they're not going with him. He walks away into the smoke. And sure, we have the Scrappers Guild, and there's a possibility to link back up with Rex, or Rex comes in an episode and saves them from the Empire, and now they're with the Rebels or something like that. But it felt like the way the episode left off was that they didn't have a purpose currently. Now the inhibitor chips are out. Fantastic, but we're where we started at the beginning of the episode, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of tough. It's tough because we only have however many episodes left.
That was 9, so like 7, I think. We had 16 episodes.
Yeah, we're at episode 7 right now, so we're about to hit episode 8.
9.
Yeah, so like this is around the mid-season that we were promised. I honestly don't know if they're gonna make like a season 2, and I don't think I necessarily would want a season 2. I think that if they keep it contained, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I just don't understand how you would flesh a story out for that much longer without it overlapping into canon.
The only thing that I actually see could be using Bad Batch as a setup to the Thrawn series.
What's the Thrawn series?
So Grand Admiral Thrawn, which shows up as well in Rebels. Is it Rebels? I think it's Rebels or Clone Wars.
Yes,
Rebels?
he's in Rebels.
Yeah, like keep in mind, this dude is even bigger than Tarkin. Like this like Grand Admiral Thrawn was training across the Outer Rim, and like the Emperor is like, okay, I'll take your word for it. Like, Thrawn does not mess around at all. He's the blue dude. He's the blue dude with the yellow eyes that like messes with Ezra. I think they're setting him up for the Ahsoka series because they've been linked together, like Thrawn and Ahsoka. That would make a good impact lore wise, like big picture, because Thrawn is that dude. He's
Thrawn is one of my favorite Star Wars characters, not just villain, but like overall character. And I was so happy that Disney actually, because before he only existed in the novels. He only existed in the novels. He's never showed up in the actual Star Wars main canon. And of course, you know, after Lucasfilms was bought up by Disney, he just became part of the Little Legacy series. But now they canonized him in Star Wars Rebels. So he does exist. And if that is the case, then I definitely would love that setup for it to happen.
Yeah, that would be incredible. That'd be really, really cool. I mean, so I didn't even know he existed. I mean, you guys know Star Wars a lot better than I do. That's why we have the amalgamation of all these nerdom content creators, right? You need weekly anime. That's what I'm here for. But yes, that's incredible. So I mean, and then that's kind of all I had on it. Was like, we should have gotten this earlier. I don't think we're gonna lose them at this point, at least, because I mean, now it's looking like your theory may be more correct because, like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe Omega has these large force repercussions down the line,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really all I can kind of see is her playing into Dooku's timeline or something like that. Because other than that, I don't understand what the impact of the show could be outside of Thrawn.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it will, we'll just have to wait and see. I think that within the next few episodes we're gonna get a little bit more lore. But I think that's pretty much it on Bad Batch. We did get some set photos for Kenobi, which was pretty dope.
Really?
But yeah, Obi-Wan.
How did he look? How did he look?
He we only saw his, like, the bottom of his feet and his hair. I think they're going for like
that.
Yeah, I think they're going for like the Last Jedi Luke Skywalker look, like the PTSD look. And that's perfectly fine because we didn't see Obi-Wan deal with the issues of that and the trauma that episode 3 left him. So I'm down with that. We did see some Stormtrooper armor, which is also cool because we didn't see up to this point. And actually he talked about it. Like, he was on a podcast with maldita sea la madre, Pedro Pascal. He was in an interview with Pedro Pascal, and he confirmed it's the first time he's acted with a stormtrooper. It's the first time he's been on scene with a stormtrooper instead of clone troopers.
Ewan wasn't the guy you said were not the Jedi you're looking for.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. Okay, cool. Well, then I guess if we're wrapped with Bad Batch, we might as well get into this week's episode of My Hero Academia, which was ambient. I mean, it was filler adjacent, but it wasn't also filler because we did get a couple of very interesting tidbits of knowledge in the way that MHA does these filler adjacent episodes. I think a lot of people could take notes, okay, because they do such a fantastic job with transitionary periods in their show, making it entertaining, action-packed, and informational, which is huge. Also, congratulations to MHA, 100 episodes. Not a lot of animes have done that. Okay, we got like Hunter x Hunter, Bleach, Gintama, Naruto, One Piece.
Dragon Ball.
those are massive installments in anime history. So congratulations to the new gen, the first of them to do 100 episodes. Awesome. I thought it was a fun episode. We got to really get confirmation that One for All is essentially becoming All for One, and we're seeing in the thing is what we're seeing is. That's why the founder is reaching out to his brother, because they're starting to become each other, and that's why it's activating. Did you enjoy the episode, Mizu?
Oh, absolutely. I love how they, like you said, they gave more information. They explained that how One for All will play out, and it does, like, and it's going to be very important. So I hope people don't just sidebar this episode, be like, oh, whatever, filler, or anything like that, because no. It sets up what's going to happen in the next events, because this event ain't got nothing on what's going to happen next.
What's building? Yes. The only really questions I had from the episode was, so Mike and Aizawa are walking down a hallway, and Mike's like, wow, you took a lot of interest in Shinso. Would that have to do with, and then he said a name, and I don't recall what name he said, but it seemed like Mike was referring to someone that Aizawa had a relationship with prior, and it just, what, does Aizawa have a son we don't know about? Like, is that a thing?
No.
Like,
no, he doesn't have a son, but it does play a role. They're going to explain it more in the future. But President Mike and Aizawa had another friend. They were actually a trio, not a duo.
Oh.
They had a third friend that they knew very close. Something like that. And but stuff happened.
Happened.
So I don't want to get into detail because it's very important.
Yeah. No, okay, cool. So
if any of you guys are interested in wanting to see what he looks like and what he does, he's actually in the Vigilante manga. Because in the manga spin-off series of My Hero called Vigilantes, we see a younger Aizawa who's kind of a new hero who's been doing it for, I would say, maybe roughly about a year. being a hero for the first time. Him and President Mike and Miss Midnight and all of them, and we see his friend. We see that friend.
Yeah.
So if you want to see what he looks like and who he is, you can read or look it up through Vigilantes. But he'll be explained more.
I've wanted Naruto to do something like that for so long, and I think it's such a good idea. You create this universe that people love, and then you give a prequel. You know, give me Minato's background, give me the third great ninja war, give me these things. Listen, a sequel is great, but that's all unique characters. Give me more about the characters I already care about. That's something that I think, you know, once again, New Gen is doing very, very well as they're listening. But yes, and then besides that one little Easter egg moment, we got a really cool look into how Monoma's quirk works, because they tried to get him to copy Ares' quirk, and he was like essentially like it was I was confused for a second, and then I think they realized they were going to confuse people, and then they like brought like the Fat Gum, like, listen, like he can copy Fat Gum's quirk, but he's still skinny. He can copy Deku's quirk, but he still doesn't have the power harnessed. He can copy Ares' quirk. I didn't really understand why he couldn't copy. It felt also a bit hand wavy. Like he was like, it's a stockpiling quirk, and I was like, it's not really a stockpiling quirk, Ares' quirk. Like it's reversal of time on specific things. I don't know how that's a stockpiling quirk, you know. But it was really
honestly, yeah, I didn't get the airy part either a little bit, because I was like, yeah, it should work with his quirk, should work with hers. It makes sense with Fat Gum in One for All, but
One for All and Fat Gum's quirk I understood. Like that's fine. But no, it was really cool. And then another person got a kind of funny look into was Sue, because she's cold-blooded.
Yes,
they're like, close the window. She can't move. I was like, that's such a hindrance.
Yeah, you don't remember during the which one? The when they were getting their hero licenses.
Oh yeah.
And they had their little team up, and one girl who had the quirk, I guess her quirk is that she can plan out everything, and had like basically she was really smart, and
she's like the principal.
Not the principal, but similar to the principal.
She's like the principal, yeah.
But she knew that Sue was cold-blooded, so they trapped him in a like room with low temperature.
I remember that.
She was basically useless. I'm not gonna lie.
That is such a hindrance. Like, match her with like she should always be with like Bakugo or Todoroki, which segue got their provisional license. So that's why it's not a filler episode, because like we got things, we understood information, and we moved forward. And Bakugo and Todoroki got the provisional hero licenses, and also had a really awesome battle where they worked together, and we got to see Todoroki's, which is his jump force alt move, on these supposed baddies who they wiped pretty easily. But that was a really cool scene. And Bakugo's saving people, and he's focusing on other people, and I hate it that on a week basis, I like him more. It's making me angry.
Triple B.
Yep.
Triple B. Yeah. And so, like, me and Aaron were talking about, he's just that last week is sitting wrong with me, right? Something's going wrong in my head. Also, how the hell does controlling carbonation allow you to manipulate water? I don't. How does that make sense? That guy was like, I can control the guy who Todoroki and Bakugo took out. He was like, I can control carbonation. How does that allow you to shoot water in any way whatsoever? Also, such a useless quirk. It's like, hey, do you want fizzy water or still? Here, let me put my finger in your drink.
Yeah, it is weird because I don't think carbonation like works that way, but I don't know.
No, he was like, he literally summoned a tsunami with carbonation. I was like, how does that even make sense?
He could make some McDonald's like the guy, Sprite, though.
I guess, as long as it's McDonald's Sprite, like it's powerful. But it's like the guy who Endeavor caught, who was literally just a car. These side character like villains are hilarious to me. But like besides that, there wasn't a lot to talk about in the episode. We do have something. I mean, now that we're done with our TV shows here, we have a lot of video game news, ladies and gentlemen. Some that I would deem a lot more important than others, but that's on me. I want to open up with our Battlefield talk here. We got a trailer. Not only the trailer where we got to see, the guy jumping out of the jet with the bazooka, Randazooks, clip from way back in the day. That was incredible. We also got an in-game trailer,
Yes,
which
sir.
looks insane. 128 players. That was pre-alpha graphics, and it looks fantastic. Do you think we're getting a BR?
They have it planned for 6 months after the release, I believe. I'm not a big fan of BRs, so I will reserve my comments on BR speak at least for now. But I'm super excited for Battlefield. I've been a super big Battlefield fan ever since Bad Company. So I played Battlefield 2. Oof, Bad Company was a fucking banger. So I love that. I honestly believe that it's going to be a lot better than people realize, because if you think about it,
it looks like a love letter to old Battlefield games.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of like comparisons, because like obviously, so what they did say, at least from the E3 announcement, so the actual game is going to be $60 on console, but on PC it's going to be 40 or 50, around that, because there's no campaign. PC Master Race. There's no campaign, right? There's no campaign. There's a big focus on the actual map, the gunplay, the vehicles, everything like that.
In the Black Ops 4?
Bro, it's twice the size as Verdansk. The maps. The maps
and
are
there's
huge.
Several?
Not sure if there's more than one yet, but at least from the one that they released information of, like the plans for, people were comparing it. So it's like, what is it? Like 3 times as big as the PUBG map. I think it's twice the size as Warzone. And they just said, like, bro, you're never gonna run out of content, because they have like all the stuff put into this map. Like there's so much shit that you can do inside the map. And like the big thing about Battlefield that I wanted to get your opinions on is like, obviously Battlefield is known for interactive maps, right? So so stuff happens, and there's confirmed that there's going to be weather events, like tornadoes, tsunamis, like stuff like that. So like stuff is like, the battlefield itself is going to change as the game progresses. It's not just a storm and a BR. Like the entire landscape is going to switch. Like you have to switch loadouts, you have to switch stuff like based on your environment. So I find that pretty cool. What do you guys think about the game? Is it going to be like as big as Warzone, you think?
Unfortunately, I think the world, I'm also not a massive fan of BRs, but I think BRs are what makes the world turn right now. Warzone, Fortnite, Apex, those are 3 out of the 5 biggest games on Twitch at any given moment. That is what makes the world turn. Valorant's pretty much that's the closest shooter, and that's basically just taking the place of CSGO at this point. I think it will be as big as Warzone, if not the Warzone killer. That's a little hint for me. If it drops a BR, because it will have better gameplay and better anti-cheat and better, like vehicles and a bigger map and more compelling content and all these things. I think Warzone has been stuck in the same place for a long time. I think the problem is it's around because there isn't a game that's replaced it yet. I mean, Apex is essentially making a comeback from the grave, from the EA grave, because Warzone has underperformed in terms of giving people what they want, which is something Apex has done, updating the map, which is something Apex has done, listening to consumers, which is what Apex has done, effective anti-cheat, which is what Apex has done. So if Battlefield can do those things, I think it's gonna be the Warzone killer. I really do. And also, like 128 people, it's probably gonna be 64 like it used to be, which is awesome. Like Battlefield 3, like those games, the Bad Company, those ones, like those were bangers of video games. So yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome. I'm super stoked on it. I mean, I'm gonna stream it. Mizu, what do you think?
It's funny enough because I'm also not a big fan of BR games as well. So, but honestly, if it's the way you guys are making it sound, I would definitely give it another go, because I think to me it's never been my forte of games, but it sounds very interesting, and I like how they're adding more to it, especially with the environment. So now it will really show you like how skilled you are in there, instead of just having like flat, more appearance-wise set pieces. When you actually have a real more interactive world, while you have to deal with a tornado while being shot at.
Like
So
it's
I
like
think that's
imagine with the heli there in Verdansk, there's a airport tower that people just camp in, you know. Imagine that, but now instead of having to go up the zip line or fly a helicopter towards them, you can just break that bitch down. Like that's a
Exactly.
game changer. Like what else, what more could you want, honestly? So yeah, no, I think with the wingsuits and the grappling system, what like that's gonna be incredible.
Yep.
Can you imagine like camping, like being a sniper, and out of nowhere your building gets hit by a tsunami?
Dude.
Yeah.
You're this close to my getting a kill, and then some weather type situation happens, and it just ruins the whole thing for you.
That would be awesome, honestly. Yeah, if you're out there for like a half hour looking for like these super long distance snipes, and then oh, you're swimming now. Like you might as well. Did you bring your flippers because you're gone? That would be awesome, and that's what has always been great about Warzone or about Battlefield is that you know back in like Battle for I think it was the World War I one that you could like ships could crash on, you could get megalodons to jump.
Mhm.
They've always been really good with this kind of change the battlefield kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think it's gonna be a breath of fresh air. I think because boots on the
Yes.
ground play is good, and it is a good measure of for competitive play. But games are supposed to be fun too. And like you don't have an anti cheat with Warzone.
Nope.
The meta is broken.
Mhm.
It's more about who can get the better TikTok loadout to work on the meta and who can get like the ACOG
Yeah.
scope that has no sway.
I found the new
Ugh,
COG
it's-
meta.
And I'm like, what? Like, why am I looking forward to just looking at the new Mac 10 build or the new FAL build?
Mhm.
Like, oh, I don't know. I just don't like it. We got a lot more announcements today, guys.
Okay.
And
Here's the thing, and we do.
for E3, I meant for E3.
Yeah, but like, okay, the first one that I guess this is really the only one that I have a polarizing view in. Do we need a fucking Avatar game?
Yes,
Do we, the movie
Wait.
came out in what 2014?
2012, I think. No, 2009, 2009, I think.
2009?
Yeah, it's
12 years ago. They're like, we're gonna make this into a trilogy. It got a world. First off, yes. Did it get an incredibly like it was like the highest grossing movie of all time? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, once until Endgame happened. But like it looks gorgeous. It looks kind of fun. But it's made by Ubisoft. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ubisoft is a flip of a coin, and I am thinking it's
On a
gonna
good day.
be
On a good day.
it's gonna be like Destiny 2, dude. Like I think it's just gonna be grinding. I think it's gonna be. I think it's or it's. I think Cap is Horizon Dawn. Like
Ooh.
Floor is Destiny. You know, and trust me, there's people out there who love Destiny, so I'm not talking smack on Destiny, but like I could see it being like a go run a raid, get loot box type of thing. I don't know. I never caught the Avatar wave. I don't know if we need a game. Like imagine another movie that came out in 2009. I don't know. Imagine we got like a
Fast and Furious game.
those actually that already exists and it's awful.
Okay.
But yeah, but it is full price, so family. But I mean, okay, fine. Tell me why we need an Avatar game, Jose.
Wait, but before y'all get involved,
me
I
too.
actually did not see it yet. So what was in it?
Essentially, you're the Avatar, the Pandorians or whatever. And you basically all we got is like, oh, they're on the Earth. It's so nice. This is great. And then a couple of airplanes fly after them and they hop on their winged dragon things and they plug their hair in like an ox cord. And then they take out the helicopters and that's it. And they have their bows. So essentially it feels like it's going to be like a you versus the humans kind of thing. And you play as the avatars. I think I was 13 when I saw the movie. So I don't remember what they were called.
The Na'vi.
The Na'vi, of course. But yeah, I mean, Jose, why are you excited for the game?
I'm excited because it's a standalone story. That's why I'm excited because it's not tied in to Sam Worthington or like the rest of like the Pandora world. It's exploring the west, like I think it's the western side of the world, like because we got to remember like while the Earth's military occupied the planet, they occupied a certain section of it, and there are still versions like there's still a lot to cover, right? So it's the western side of the planet. I'm excited because I love open world and I believe this is open world. So as a standalone open world story excites me because I'm kind of not gonna say I'm tired, but like I'm in the mood for a fresh story because like right now it's all multiplayer, it's all playing with friends, and that's great and all, but like we're getting a lot of games that are multiplayer heavy.
That's
Lot
what
of
Resident Evil was for me, though. That was Resident Evil.
Exactly.
Was refreshing to me. It was the first game I had sat down and actually just finished for fun.
Mm-hmm.
In I don't even know
Lady
why, I don't even know how
Dimitrescu,
many
let's
years.
not kid ourselves.
She's gone in the first 3 hours of the game.
That's true.
I mean, it was only a 10-hour game. Unfortunately, like I would have played that game for much, much longer. But yeah, that was like, so it definitely is good to see these games. It's like, all right, cool. Like I'm not like dropping with 128 other people and I can go enjoy a storyline. So that is nice.
I was honestly more excited, even more than the Pandora, is Halo Infinite. Bro, the multiplayer reveal was sick. And they're gonna it's gonna have a free to play multiplayer mode. Like it's gonna have a lot of people.
Like, I mean, free to play usually means BR.
Yeah, and like if we get a Halo BR, that makes that is cool because
I can't believe we don't have one already.
But because if you think about it, like a Halo BR makes total sense because the multiplayer maps lended themselves to that.
So big, so unnecessarily large.
Yeah. And like I would love to see how they work with that, because while we did only see a multiplayer like thing, and we got to see some of the OG maps and some of the new designs for the armors, for the Mjolnir armors, I'm excited to see if they're able to up the ante with Halo Infinite. Like I'm excited to see if they can make it mainstream again.
What do you mean by up the ante? What would you want to see for them to what would up the ante for you?
Damn it. I wouldn't. The thing is, the thing is that, like, okay, Master Chief is a very complicated character, right? Because he was basically the face of an entire company, the face of an entire franchise, the face of an entire console generation. Like
Microsoft is built on the back of Master Chief.
Yeah, exactly. So the issue that I have is when do we stop focusing on him and focus on other stories? Because we did focus on ODST and then Reach. We did get other troops and other squads of
arguably the best games.
Exactly. But like I still think Master Chief's story is worth exploring more. So if they've covered the rings, they've covered the flood, they've covered partially the Forerunners. Can they bring something new that excites people and is like, yo, I want to play Halo again. I want to finish the story and then I want to pop straight into the multiplayer, get all the skulls, get the new armor. Like I want to see if we can get back to that, because bro, that's what made Ninja famous. Like those type of gameplay mechanics were like what made some of these like big streamers like famous. Halo 3, that Halo 2, Halo 3, like those multiplayer game maps and like the stories were spot on for both of them. So I'm excited for those. I'm excited for Avatar, but we did get the release or like the trailer for the new Final Fantasy. Are you guys big on Final Fantasy?
A little bit.
I love 7 and I love 10, but there's just so many. 13 was a nightmare. 13 Part 2 still a nightmare. 15 is a cool kind of MMORPG that I haven't got into as much as I should have. But yeah, I mean it's a JRPG. They're hit or miss.
Honestly, the biggest thing that I saw today was like the Guardians of the Galaxy game from Square Enix, and that was lit. I was super excited.
I have mixed feelings with Square Enix. They've put out some really, really good games, but they've also put out some just straight up awful games.
Shitters.
I think it has an interesting capacity as like an adventure type game, because you are the guardian of the entire galaxy, you know. So like, if you do it in the way that like maybe Mass Effect 2 did it, where there's dozens of planets and you have missions on those individual planets that you can go fix. Even another game that did it really, really, really well was it was made by the people who made Fallout, and I'm totally spacing what it is. No. Oh, yeah. It was made. Yes, it was made by the people who made Fallout, and then they made a game that was very similar to Fallout, where you travel from different planets and there's missions on those separate planets. And I think if you do it,
No Man's Sky.
no, not No Man's Sky. No, God,
I
that
think
game was a
they're talking
nightmare
about,
at launch.
I think I know what you're talking about. Something
Andromeda.
outer.
No, I don't know.
Outer Outriders or something.
Outriders. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Outriders, something like that. It was incredible. It was a ton of fun. And it's this vast, like, is the playable area on each map that big, on each planet that big? No, but like they're different. You have to approach things differently depending on the planet. And I think it has the IP, it has the likable characters. Just don't do it the way, because Square Enix, guess who made the Avengers game?
True.
Square Enix. Okay, so they're not a perfect company, and they flopped on the Avengers game, which could have been an incredibly powerful game, and I bought it for full price, and I streamed it on my 5th ever stream. I was like trying to hype it up, but it was not fun.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of stuff, but for me at least, Battlefield is the biggest. Battlefield is the biggest.
I think it's going to be
we know
pretty
that
dry.
God of War and Horizon Dawn have been pushed back. Sony has been getting shots fired at them. People are mad at Sony right now, but that's what I felt.
Honestly, like, here's the thing. I think that's the one thing that kind of maybe, in my personal opinion, kind of irritates me a little bit with fellow gamers. It's just like, I'd rather have a game finished
Amen.
and wait instead of getting a rush game and it's trash. And I get that people are upset. Like, yeah, we've been waiting for a while for God of War 4. Same thing with
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
But when you rush,
it sucks.
We
get Cyberpunk.
We get bad games. Look at 2077. They kept pushing it back for reasons, but everybody was getting mad and just like, no, we need it out now. And now look at 2077.
Yeah, look at Fallout, bro.
Apparently it's better. I haven't beat the campaign yet. I streamed it 3 times and everyone was like, this looks like worse GTA 5. And I was like, yeah, no, it's good. I bought it for $60. It's actually, no, I bought it for $80 so I could get early access. Nope, that was Avengers. Yeah, so yeah, I'm a sucker. I need to stop buying new games. But I mean, yeah, I would much rather wait. I'm the same way. I'm the same way with anime. Like, people are like, oh, AOT is not gonna be out till next year. And I was like, cool. Do you want it to look like 7 Deadly Sins? I was like, no. You probably want it to look like AOT, like, so you can wait. Or you can go read the manga, but I'm willing to wait. So yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I would much rather have my video games come out complete instead of be patchwork nightmares like Fallout 76 or Cyberpunk 2077. Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, who I had faith in because they made The Witcher 3. He doesn't even get me too amped up here. Too amped up, but okay. Yes.
Did you guys see the vampire game?
What's the vampire game?
Redfall from Bethesda.
No.
They had a trailer like you're basically okay, I'll read you the premise because I saw it and I was like pretty excited. So you can build a team of vampire slayers with customizable weapons in a campaign mode, and you can play alone.
The Castlevania thing you were talking about, Mizu?
No, this is not it.
This has nothing. Okay.
Okay. Don't know. I'm a huge Blade fan as well.
Yeah. So
loser of the week, vampires.
It looks like the character design looks a little bit like Titanfall, like the faces of the people, but like you're basically a team of vampire slayers with customizable weapons in a campaign mode, and you can play it alone or with friends.
Oh.
Like you're building a team of vampire slayers.
So it's kind of like Left 4 Dead, but instead of zombies, it's vampires.
Yeah. So I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit more in depth than just like killing, because like they have cosmic weapons. Like there's an umbrella that like spits out lightning and stuff like that. So it's pretty dope. It looks cool.
It's like the Wunderwaffen from zombies back in the day.
So I'm taking with vampires.
Wait, so Mizu, you said before the podcast, and we were like, keep it for the pod. I'm trying to stop you because you're so excited.
So,
you said you have Castlevania video game news?
So yeah, I have some video game related news. Well, two things. One, before that is Dark Souls. Dark Souls is always killing it. The company who makes Dark Souls, and they're releasing another game.
No fucking way.
And yes, I think it's called Eternal something. I should have wrote it down, but it's called Eternal something. Just look up Dark Souls new game, possibly. And
I'm ready
I'm not
to
gonna
get
lie.
hurt again.
I'm not gonna lie, it looks beautiful, and they're adding more mechanics. So this time in Dark Souls, in this game, you have mounts. You can ride a horse. And so specifically, you actually have a specific animal who is kind of like a
Elden Rings.
Irish, huh?
Elden
Rings.
Does that?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yep. So you actually get a mount that has the ability to like swift, and it can jump, all this kind of stuff. You can ride a horse, and of course, with that being said, Dark Souls enemies can also ride horses too.
Guess who FromSoftware is company? Guess who FromSoftware is working for to make this game?
Mm-hmm.
George R. Motherfucking Martin. It's George R. R. Martin and FromSoftware making Skyrim plus Dark Souls.
I like it. Sold.
Coming up.
Sold.
There's not even a release date.
And
the Game Award for most anticipated game. It has already caught an award for most anticipated game. That is
for real. Like
insane.
And I saw they show you some of the gameplay for it. And again, like it's beautiful. It's amazing, like how they set it up. And of course, Dark Souls being Dark Souls, it looks difficult as shit.
It looks genuinely soul-sucking.
Yes, it's gonna be fun, but hateful. You're gonna have that fun hate feeling. You're gonna have like, oh man, this is so hard, but so fun at the same time.
It's called untempered rage.
The question is, will I be able to stream it? Because I suck at getting scared. Because I don't get. It's not that bad, but I feel sad because I did get scared a couple times in Bloodborne. I don't know if I'm like.
It's a pretty creepy game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's Bloodborne. It's weird.
It's FromSoftware. It's weird. It's creepy.
Yeah, I got scared of Bloodborne. I'm not scared to say it. So I'm excited though. I'm excited though.
Men speak their feelings. Good. Yes, I get afraid sometimes. You already know, dude. That I'm gonna watch that trailer because this is news to me. Oh, because it was posted about 3 days ago. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. That explains why I haven't heard of this. But speaking of which, please don't. There's no way that the follow-up news is bigger than that.
But it is. So remember in one of the previous episodes, I talked about that Castlevania. The people who worked on Castlevania, the animated series, they talked about they have other projects in mind, but we didn't know at the time, and they just kind of speculated. Well, they have confirmed it, what they are making. So here are the games that are getting their own animated series. Before we mention those, Castlevania is definitely getting a spin-off series. And it's
card.
So and it's basically it's not that. So it's basically it's based off the character Richard Belmont, who was supposed to be the great grandson of both Trevor and Cypher Belmont. And it's based around the French Revolution.
Love it.
No.
Love it.
Also, if you main him in Smash Bros, you're a bad person. I'm gonna come out and say that. I'm gonna come out and say you're a bad person. I don't like you. Him or Simon for Echoes. Now,
the next other video games that are getting their own series are, the first one they said is Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell is getting its own animated series.
That's fucking
now I'm not too knowledgeable on Splinter Cell, but I've heard of it. But like they said that's gonna become their own animated series. They're like gonna do
Gears. It's like if Snakes
Metal Gear Solid
took itself way more seriously.
Yeah, it's a lot more serious.
I think it's Tom Clancy IP.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they've been talking about doing a Rainbow Six Siege show for a long time. So getting a Splinter Cell game or show would be sick. It's really cool. It's really cool stuff.
For real. The next game they said is going to be Far Cry 3, based off the expansion Blood Dragon, and but they said they're going to add other elements of Far Cry into the series, and so the series is called Far Cry 3, Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix.
Far Cry 3 was the one on the islands, right? Where it's with the guy with the mohawk. Yeah, okay, that was one of the better ones too.
That's my favorite Far Cry game.
And those are the same people who made Castlevania, the same animation.
Yes, those are the same people who made Castlevania. They're also working with the video game company themselves, like Ubisoft and all of them who worked with it.
They don't miss.
Now the last one to me is also a big one for me, and they're working on a show called Arcane, which is based off. It's going to be like a little series based off League of Legends.
Oh, no way.
Ooh,
That's
my friends are gonna
crazy.
love that. My friends are gonna love
The sweats are gonna come out.
Yes,
You know, it's about time. It's about time the sweats got a TV show. They got to relax for a second. You know, good for them. Good for them. They deserve it. They deserve it. That's crazy. That's gonna be. I mean, obviously these things. Actually, you know what? They banged out Castlevania so fast. Castlevania's first season dropped like 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2017, 2018.
They were putting out like 2 seasons ish a year. So like they do work. They do absolute work, and they animate beautifully, and they know what storylines to stick to. They did Blood of Zeus as well, and damn, that's sick. You know what? You know, we're always shitting on video game IP. Maybe we're reaching a new golden era, because some of the best told stories out there we get from video games. You know,
For real.
like it's such a missed market. So yes, to see that on the horizon is incredible. That is great news, and I'm happy we waited till the pod. Okay, gentlemen, I have a couple of winners and losers. If you'd like to hear about them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Consent is important. All right, my first winner of the week, ladies and gentlemen. I talked about him first name I brought up this entire episode, Owen Wilson. This man, mid-50s, still looks great, in shape, finally got a role where, you know, he is kind of tropey, he is kind of a comedy character, but I think he's actually going to get to show some of his more dramatic acting. And he has done dramatic acting. He has this movie where essentially he gets trapped in, I believe it's Thailand, and he has to escape to Vietnam, which is a really good movie. I'm totally forgetting what it's called now. And I think he's deserved a spot for a long time. We talked about who we want in the MCU dozens and dozens of times. But I think, listen, you get that ticket punch, that is huge. So payday, Owen Wilson, and then My Hero Academia, Shonen Jump, episode 100. That's awesome. That show deserves the world. It's incredible. I mean, Jose's been texting us about how emotional it's making him. Holy shit, I'm just realizing we didn't even do catching up with Jose. You finished episode season 1. We blew right past it, didn't we?
Yeah, but it's fine. I think I can save it for next week, because I'll catch up even more and have even more to say, because I'm excited. I got a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. And then my last winner of the week is Takamichi from Tokyo Avengers. Finally did something that made him semi-likable. This entire show was built upon side characters being massively more likable than our protagonist. And he finally stood up for himself and stopped being a sniveling little bitch. And so, yes, my losers for the week, though, is anyone with a small understanding of quantum mechanics, because Loki is going to make you upset. It's going to make you very upset. It's been making me upset this entire time, because I don't love the way that Marvel approaches time travel on a quantum level, and it's very hand-wavy, and it makes me a little upset. And then my last loser of the week is Warzone, because once that Battlefield BR drops, you're done. You're done. The only people still playing Warzone just don't want to play Apex, so they think it's too cartoony and they don't like the abilities. All right. Battlefield is going to be about hitbox, tracing, movement, all the same things that Warzone is about, but it's going to do it better. You're done, Warzone. Verdansk, nuke it again. Doesn't matter. You're done. Fortnite still has a bigger followership than you. How? You don't listen to your fan base. You don't update the map. You don't fix broken guns. People are still getting under the map. Done, Warzone. Done. Jose, let me know.
I got a lot of winners. I got more winners than losers this week.
Okay.
First of all, main winners of the week, I would say. Besides Marvel fans, are animated show / anime fans. Because holy shitty shits. We got Record of Ragnarok premiering on Netflix on June 17th. We got 4 days.
So much to talk about.
Yeah, we got Record of Ragnarok. So we're getting a full-on mythology anime. I have been cranking out mythology content, and I'm going to keep doing so this week. So I'm going to talk about Record of Ragnarok.
Jose's going to hit 1 million on the back of Zeus.
Oh, big facts, baby. Hopefully. Hey, may the gods be ever in my favor. Another big thing that we did not talk about today at length but is a very big holy shit moment, is we are getting an animated show for Masters of the Universe, which
Great,
means
man. It's
that
great.
for the first time in over 4 decades, people are going to be reintroduced to He-Man, Eternia, and Skeletor. I am so hyped. This has, I don't think this is getting the attention it deserves. Just to put you into perspective, I sent like my dad grew up in the 80s, right? So my dad was born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s.
Yeah.
He doesn't like get excited about other things other than like Star Wars or the things that he used to love, like when in the 80s. I sent him the trailer for this, and he called me and he said, "Okay, let me know when it comes out, because I'm gonna see that shit." And I'm like, let's go, bro.
All right, it's got to
go.
release in June, right? Because He-Man has been a Pride Month icon for
true
40 years now. I mean, the man is in a
true.
leather daddy outfit.
July 23.
Like, oh, missed it just barely.
July 23.
That will be a lot of fun. I think it's a great. I hope they stick to how kind of JP and jocular the show is as a whole. Like with like what is Skeletor. Skeletor is a funny guy. He-Man it's just kind of ridiculous. It's tropey, it's fun, it's interesting, and he scales up super high. You texted me, you said All Might versus He-Man. He-Man snapping this man. Because listen, does All Might have a huge tiger on his side? No. All Might doesn't have a sword either. What? I'm sorry, did you not want that take exposed?
No. Spoilers are fine. I was just gonna say, like, even like speaking of the Masters of the Universe, an even bigger winner of the week is Mark motherfucking Hamill, because he is the voice of Skeletor. So this man is officially Luke Skywalker, the Joker, Fire Lord Ozai, the suit maker, suit maker in Invincible, and now he's Skeletor. Bro, give this man his Emmy, his Grammy, his Emmy,
I'm sure
his Oscar,
he's got plenty.
Oh, bro,
he'll forever be the best Joker. I mean,
I think he's the best Joker. We can spend a whole episode on that.
Yeah, like his voice is
just
the
think
Joker.
About that dichotomy right there. He plays the most iconic hero in all of fiction and plays one of the most iconic villains of all of fiction.
And he's playing all of them. He's got Skeletor, he's got the Joker, he's got Fire Lord Ozai. Like, the only thing he's missing is probably, I don't know, like what other villain is more iconic than those? Like, I don't even know.
Since we're talking about it, by the way, when you texted me that there was an Avatar game coming out, I thought we were talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I got really excited
as well.
I got excited.
I think that's why I had such a visceral response to it being the fucking blue things that came out in a movie in 2009. I was like, I get to be the Avatar? That would be awesome. Imagine an open world game.
An RPG,
you're an airbender, and you can fly. And there's nations that you can explore, and they have different ethnicities of people who have different powers. How did we never capitalize on this? Nickelodeon.
I think Nickelodeon is just like holding on to those rights for dear life.
Yeah, they really are,
because they need to release those, bro. they need to release those rights. But yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of fun though. What platform is it coming out on?
I think it's gonna be an Xbox game.
It's gonna be a game. Wait, hold up, a game?
Like the what? The
Oh, he's asking what platform is the show's coming on?
Yeah, Netflix. It's all Netflix.
No way.
Yeah, it's all Netflix. And like at least so far, Netflix is Netflix is boom trying to stack the deck. I love that. I love that.
They decided we're gonna animate 80s we're gonna animate 80s fandoms, and we're just gonna bring in the Gen Xers.
Exactly.
I know that. I bet they're sitting here just like, you know what? Fuck you, Crunchyroll. Funimation. We're gonna get in this Disney anime business. Not even just anime. We're gonna get involved in just animation, and we're gonna show them up.
Dude,
at what point? Like, here's the thing. So, like, at what point? Like, so now, essentially, America is now storming on the scene with companies like Netflix. Now, like, joining the animation rat race. You know?
Yeah.
Do you think, from an animated standpoint, like, prolifically, are we going to see animated shows seen on the same hierarchy as anime? Because I don't think
Honestly,
Castlevania is a goddamn masterpiece, but doesn't get the love it deserves. Do you think shows like
Yeah.
He-Man and all of those video game games that were just talked about are going to rise that animational standard to the prolificacy of, or the profile of anime?
I mean, Mizu can have his own opinions, and I'd love to hear them. But bro, the way that the trailer looked for Masters of the Universe,
Mhm.
from what I've heard, it looks even better than Seven Deadly Sins, like the new I mean, it looks even
would
better
hope.
than certain animes. Like,
I
and
would hope
I'm
it
like,
looked better than Seven Deadly Sins that was drawn in a
It-
weekend by a fourth grader.
yeah, true. Hey,
Season 3 is
people were very mad at Escanor, the Escanor fight.
they
I
were
can
mad at
totally-
everybody. It was terrible.
Dude, I don't know. The thing is that like it's a very fine line, right? Because like anime people, like diehards, will be like, "That's not anime. You can't compare it." But I'm like, bro, if
People
the
still ask if
animated
Avatar is
shows,
anime.
if the animated shows are better than some of the best-selling animes,
Yeah.
they deserve some credit. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, Castlevania is better than some animes that I've
Castlevania is
watched,
better
so-
than most animes. Don't get it twisted. Castlevania's better than AOT. I'm gonna say it. I might get
Oh.
shit for that, but Castlevania is better than Attack on Titan. It didn't have season 3 of Attack on Titan. It never
okay.
slowed down.
That makes
You
sense.
know,
That does make
I
sense.
just, hey, listen, but you know what? You got a problem with me? Nixie comedy, all right?
Yeah.
You know my ads.
Hey,
You know my ads.
I know we have
Fight me.
I know we have a Jaegerist in this chat that might differ. So I'm gonna let him take the reins because I don't have that many losers except maybe Warzone and
Sounds familiar.
and well, video game fans in general as well, because we did get some of the biggest titles delayed, but that's about it. It's been W's all across the board. So
It's been a good week. Good week for
Mizu.
fandom.
Mizu, take us home.
I definitely agree with what before I get into it, I definitely agree with that. I definitely can see American or we can say Western animation taking field in when it comes to anime. And if anybody is gonna be one of those types of people just like, oh no, it's not anime or it can never be on the same level anime. I ignore folks like that because like you're very close-minded.
Yeah,
Because
you're
and I
gatekeeping.
do kind of agree with Nick with Castlevania. Castlevania, in terms of plot animation and stuff like that, has been good for better than a lot of anime that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how, like I said, and for those who don't know, like I said, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I'm a big fantasy fan. I love that stuff. I'm very particular about fantasy and stuff like that. And Castlevania delivered for me. And I like how it was all doing stuff and they all had their own individual stories, but they all connected at the end. I love how they do that.
Yeah.
The only other anime I can think of that does that very well to me is One Piece. So I'm just sitting here like, oh, is Castlevania very? Only difference is that Castlevania is tremendously shorter than
A lot
One
shorter.
Piece.
Yeah. There's no. I mean, One Piece's world is massive. I mean, I think of like animes that brought everything together in the end in a very cohesive and like comprehensive way. The only ones I can really think of is Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yep.
Not even Naruto really, because Naruto left a lot of ambiguous openings at the end.
Yeah,
a lot of plot holes. Yeah, like I would say like maybe like
Bleach? No.
Bleach is still coming out. It's still technically coming out.
It's not done. Manga wise, it's done, but anime wise, it's not done.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hunter x Hunter. There's still a lot open there. The only one I could think of that comprehensively closed the door as well on it like as possible is Brotherhood, and that's top 3 anime all time. So yes, I think the animational standard for like westernized animation will be built on the backs of shows like Castlevania, in Blood of Zeus and other shows like that. And I think we are going to. And the thing is, do we have to talk about accessibility? The average person doesn't have Crunchyroll, and sure, there's lots and lots of anime on Hulu, but like accessibility, like the modern market for like Netflix original animated TV shows like He-Man and Castlevania, way bigger.
And
For
we're
real,
getting crossovers now, bro.
Yes, and I think
Record
the
of
one thing I
records.
also like is that, again, like we said in a previous episode, like it can be a gateway for people to watch anime. Like you said
For
before,
sure.
oh, you like Castlevania, go watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. You like a solid plot like He-Man, or you like He-Man, go watch this. If you like all these kind of stuff, it's a way to, I think, mesh both of them together. So I hope, and hopefully it's going to happen regardless, but hopefully it doesn't get bad to the point where like, oh, what's better, anime or Western animation?
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Yo,
it's
definitely gonna happen. Like, it's
the He-Man to
I'm just wondering
JoJo
how
train.
bad it is gonna be.
Ooh, the He-Man to JoJo.
The He-Man to JoJo track is gonna get so many people. If you like He-Man, boy, do I have a show for you. You like barely dressed like homoerotic men. 70 episodes right here, buddy. I got you. That is going to be incredible. We're getting so many new weebs. All right, do you have any more winners or losers, Mizu?
So my winners overall is one, gamers. Honestly, both in actual games and then people who just like the plots of games are getting some of their favorite games into an animated series. And if these ones do well, just like Castlevania, like if the Far Cry one does well, Splinter Cell, if they all do well, we can see more of these video games being turned into television shows or animated series, which I hope. So I'm praying
and
for
it'll
that.
actually be good video game IP.
Yes. My second one will have to be, of course, just MCU fans. Honestly, with Loki and what the possible setup is for both Loki, Doctor Strange, and the Multiverse of Madness. Just the possible future for the MCU is looking pretty good.
Loki will still be running when Black Widow is out. Like, how much more could you ask for? A Marvel TV show and the first Marvel movie of Series 4? Like, that's a W.
That's a dub.
Definitely.
That's a big dub. And they're going to be on, like, it's going to be back to back to back, right? Because we have Bad Batch ending, Loki going through, Black Widow happening. Then by the end of the summer, we're getting like the first, which one is the first movie after that? Well, by the end of the summer, we will have Eternals, like more info on the Eternals. By the end of the year, I think we have Spider-Man. And then next year we have Thor Love and Thunder. So that's going to be lit.
We have Eternals is November 5th. Then Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is March 25th, 2022. So those are after Black Widow. That's what we're looking forward to. Oh, November 5th. It's my girlfriend's birthday.
Hey.
That's my brother's birthday.
Yeah, so I guess I'll have to drag her to that. She'll probably come. She'll be fine.
Honestly, in terms of losers, I really don't have any. I think my only loser per se, possible loser, is just the video game companies themselves. Like, hey, if you're listening to this, please don't mess this up. Like Ubisoft,
leverage your IP.
Like seriously, like leverage it. Think about it. Don't just think about. Granted, of course, everything is money, but don't just think about it in terms of money. Think about it in terms of content. Because, hey, I know this might sound like a crazy concept, but if you make something good, more people will like to watch it and pay for it instead of you just throwing it at us and expecting us to fetch.
It's just been like, haha, look, we did it. We made the thing you wanted, you stupid idiot. It's like, well, it's hot garbage with Spartan armor on it. So let's work on this. What Jose?
I have one last thing. There is there was a release date for now that we're talking about video games. I can cap it off with an amalgamation of everything that we've talked about this week. There is a new game developed by a Chinese developer called Black Myth Wukong.
And that's the one where you played the Monkey King, right?
Yes. So for those of you that don't know, and we can actually talk about it next week, everybody's favorite Saiyan Goku is based off one of the most important figures in Chinese mythology, which is Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong, and he is basically an immortal deity that is just way too powerful and badass to even comprehend. And they're making a game about him, and it releases in 2023. And I think we're getting a new trailer this week in E3. So
if you guys haven't seen the gameplay for it, holy crap. I've never seen detail in like game mechanics like this to the point like it was understand this. It was so good that a lot of people thought that the gameplay was fake.
Yeah.
They thought it
Yeah.
was a fake game. People were messing around like, okay, like, cause you know that one guy who made that his own version of Pokemon, but it wasn't an
Yeah.
official game. We're like,
Yeah.
okay, very funny.
Very
There's
funny.
this cool Sun Wukong game, whatever. This is all bullshit.
Yeah.
But turns out the company themselves said, no, this is a game that we're actually working on. Like, this is a real game. So
It's gonna be lit.
look at the gameplay. You've got the time, look it up. It's insane.
Yes, sir.
Here's the thing is hopefully by 2023, 3070s will be around for people to buy, like, because you are going to need a big old graphics card for that game. You're not running it on your mother's laptop, okay? Like, I'd be surprised if PS5s or Xbox Series X's could run that game the way it looked. Like, I made a deal with the devil and gave him 10 years of my life, and I got a 3070. So, like, could I run it? Maybe. But, like, that game, I could smell my GPU watching that game. So it does look insane, and I'm excited to see another trailer. Also, if you guys want to get more time with that hero, there was like 5 terribly made Chinese movies about him, and each one of them is funnier than the last.
Okay, bet. I started learning about him like fairly recently because I've mostly been like I've mostly been exposed to Egyptian, Norse, Greek, and then Aztec mythology. Like I haven't delved that much into Japanese and Chinese.
Tropical Joe, TikTok social studies teacher.
No, hey, but the thing is that like they're awesome, bro. Like
they're very
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
And like they like a lot of popular movies and stuff like that reference them, bro. Even Indiana Jones, like Indiana Jones makes reference to Aztec gods and stuff like that, and it's like, like this is fucking ridiculous. And Sun Wukong is literally the blueprint for Goku, and like the
and Son
actual
Goku in Naruto.
Yeah,
he's honestly like he's just the blueprint for a lot of shonen MCs.
Yeah. Like his story is ridiculous. Like if you ever have, like if you want to watch a good explainer, go to YouTube. But as Misu mentioned, look at the gameplay trailer. It's Black Myth Wukong, and you will never look back.
Also, Monkey King Enma, Sarutobi, and Konohamaru summon. Somehow they fit him in there both. But yeah, he's
and also Mugen from God of High School.
Yeah, and Mugen from God of High School. Yeah, so he's everywhere. So yeah, if you are interested more in lore, first off, follow Tropical Joe, because I mean the man is teaching history to a generation of 12-year-olds. All right, I had to do it by pretending to be Hephaestus in a group. I got assigned Hephaestus for our Greek mythology class. I had to be the dude with no legs, but I got to marry Athena for a little bit, so that was fun. But besides that, guys, I don't have any more. If you don't,
I'm good.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us this week. We have a huge episode next week. Actually, no, in 2 weeks, because we're getting Fast 9. I mean, obviously, we still have Loki, we still have Bad Batch, we still have MHA. So we will see you guys then. I have been Nixie Comedy on TikTok, NC Hammer 23 on Twitch and YouTube. Jose, take it away.
It is I'm Tropical Joe on all the platforms. We're going to put all the links in the description. And then Mizu, take us off.
I am Mizu Shogun from all the platforms as well. Honestly, give everything out. Look at Bad Batch. If you haven't already been in watching Bad Batch, give it a try. Look forward to more of these video game series.
Yes.
Watch out for Loki, and that's it.
That's it. All right, guys. We also want to thank you so much for the continued love you guys have been showing the podcast. Our numbers are getting higher every single week, guys. You inspire us to keep on going. This just started as something I thought would be fun, and we are now on our 11th episode, just hitting 1,000 downloads per episode. You guys have been incredible. If you want to be a smidge more incredible, give us a 5-star review if you really like what you're hearing. 4-star if you hate us. But until then, guys, until next week, bye.